Now that my material has been set in the laser, I sent the job from the computer, and I want to frame up the job on the material to make sure I not only use all of the material in the most efficient way as I can, but also so the job doesn't go off the material as well. So there's a few steps that I do in order to do this. I like using the remote because it gives me a little bit more control when I'm working inside the machine without having to have my hand on the control panel. I like to get the laser head. There's a small red spotting laser, which is excellent, right at the head, and I get that right where I want it. I'll set the origin of the machine to tell the laser where to start the job, and then when I frame, it will trace the outline of the machine like a rubber band around your design to show me the extents of where I'll be cutting. All right, now that I've established that I'm using as much of the material as I can, and I'm not going to go off that material, what I want to do is use the focus feature. The focus feature is great because I don't have to know the focal depth of my material at the computer. I can set that at the laser because it could be different for every job. So when I hit focus, it's going to raise the bed up until it comes in contact with a pressure sensor on the laser head and determine the optimal distance for my cutting. And once that's been established and I've framed my job, I'm ready to send it. One of the things I really like about this laser too is it's quiet. My previous laser, which was a Glowforge Pro, which was a fine machine to learn on, the stepper motors were very, very loud, and the fan was very loud as well. So this has been a nice upgrade as well, just for someone who works in the same room that their laser's running. It's just not as noisy. project I'm making here is a couple trays that will hold small glass vials that we'll be putting essential oils in. I'm making trays to keep the vials from tipping over, so when we're filling them, we don't waste any product. So I'm not going for a super clean cut in that I haven't masked my material, because it doesn't matter for this. But that said, with an air compressor hooked up and the fan enabled, you get very little scorching. It's been a good experience so far. right, this job's about done. Took a little over 8 minutes. I probably ran it a little slower than I needed to, but I wanted to make sure I got a good cut. I'm gonna let the smoke clear and we will pull this out of the bed and take a look.